Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another tip of the Mitt fishing report with Brian Kosminski of True North Trout. How you doing, Kaz?
I'm doing excellent, Marvin. How are you?
As always, I'm just trying to stay out of trouble. How's everything up in the upper Michigan, not UP area?
We are measuring our days to opener trout season by the last snow piles at the end of the driveway as they recede away these beautiful days that we have warming up in the 50 degrees. It's going to be a little bit chilly this week, but forecast for next week calls for nicer weather and hopefully those spring rains that bring the rivers up, bring in some more steelhead.
Yeah, and warm the rivers up too, right?
A little bit, yeah. Once we get some more daylight, more sunshine, it'll help warm up the rivers, but the ground is still very solid, very frozen. So everything that melts is flying into the river. The Jordan Manistee were well above the 1 foot flood stage over the weekend. That water doesn't have very many places to go, but steelhead are moving in. We're seeing good numbers below Tippy Dam. I would imagine that's happening on every tributary in Michigan. You could probably find them on the Jordan or the Betsy or any of your favorite little rivers, and getting out there with a nymph and an egg would be a really good idea right now.
Got it. And on the nymph front, are you fishing really small stuff like they do kind of on the eastern part of the Great Lakes system?
I don't think you have to go super small, but if you're not getting down deep enough with a bigger stonefly with a smaller stonefly behind that, if you run a 2-fly rig, you could always throw on that white death like they do on your part of the world, but that blood dot egg, any kind of egg, if the water's turbid and a little bit turned up like it is right now, you want to have a fly that definitely has some size to it, and that will trigger the fish to eat. If they're not doing anything, go a little bit smaller, see if it makes a difference.
Got it. And I understand you had some inspiration this weekend to type some game changers on your Norvise.
I did get to hang out with Mr. Blaine Chocolate Saturday at Quest Outdoors. It was an awesome weekend. It's always amazing watching somebody like him and listening to him talk and go through his evolution of fly patterns. And even though I've seen different presentations from Blaine, every time it seems like there's a little bit of tidbit of knowledge that comes out that either you weren't paying attention to last time, or this time it made more sense to you. So I highly encourage people to pay attention and listen to any presentation good tires and innovative tires like Blaine have to present. It's got me inspired to go hit the vise. I'm going to dust out some shanks downstairs and spin up some finesse changers and some game changers, and I want to tie up some of that changer craw. It looks like it would be a deadly pattern for smallmouth.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the great thing about the Norvise is the ability to use that thing to make brushes. And Tim showed that to me when we were together in Denver, and it's pretty amazing.
It's amazing, super simple, super fast, super effective. And you get the best visual. Instead of wrapping around your hook, you're seeing right where you're applying your dubbing brush to the shank, and everything, you're looking at your fly in front of you instead of 360 going around the fly, which makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and they've also got shank jaws now too. And folks, we want to give a shout out to our friends at Norvise. They generously sponsor this fishing report. And if you head over to www.nor-vice.com, you can learn more about the Norvise system. But also there are a couple more show opportunities. One's on the West Coast, I think in Idaho, early in April. And then they're going to, Marlboro got rescheduled to the end of April. But if you go there, you can check it out and have a chance maybe to see Tim, Tyler, and the rest of the team on the road. And, we've got a question for you this time. We've got Glenn Polt, who is a frequent question asker on the Tip of the Mitt fishing report. He's very eager because he's asking about mousing, and I suspect the mice are still hunkered down. But he wanted to know what you suggested for nighttime tactics if mousing isn't working.
Mousing, most of the time, I know some guides and some anglers that will probably get upset for me mentioning this, but I know some guides that will mouse from the opening end of April, early May through the entire summer. Nocturnal fish like browns are hunting at night. They are hunting for whatever they can find. Most of the time when it's turned off is because of a moon phase or because of water levels, or you're fishing in the wrong water. But either try a hula popper, just kidding. I think a really good option a lot of us guys will do is put on one of the larger stonefly or a salmon fly imitation in, no joke, size 8 or size 10. let that dead drift across the water and give it a pop every once in a while. Stoneflies often over deposit at night, and especially later in the summer, that can make the difference between a dead night and a bang up night. We've caught some really nice fish. I think that's what the sofa pillow and the mattress thrasher all do as well. They cover that stonefly reproduction process in the evening because they're not very often caught on the water. They crawl out and emerge doing a complete metamorphosis on dry land before they come back to the water to drop their eggs.
Got it. And, joking about the hula poppers, but, fishing like a big double barrel flyman popper, is that something that would work too, maybe?
I would totally agree. Something like, or even a pole dancer or something like a big double deceiver Michigan fly that Great Lakes, if it's pulsing and pushing water, sometimes a big fish can key in on that movement and they feel that and they'll chase that down.
Got it. Well, folks, we love questions on the articulate fly. You can email them to us. You can DM us on Facebook or Instagram, or even just drop them in the comments on our posts. And if we use
sorry, real quick, one other thing too, I forgot to mention we had the Great Lakes Midwest Expo 2 weeks ago. Got to hang out with Tim and Tyler and a whole bunch of people that came out. Saturday was an absolute bang up day. We were super busy. I think it was a good crowd to see a lot of people come out. And I wanted to thank you and thank Tim, thank everybody. The amount of work that you do behind the scenes to help promote the industry, to help people get into fly fishing in general and to make it a more welcoming atmosphere. Very much appreciated.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely. And actually, it's funny you say that because I made a mental note to, add that expo to my consumer show rotation for next year.
Absolutely. Be a lot of fun to see you there.
Yeah. So, folks, like we were saying, if we use your questions and you can send them to us, whatever's easiest for you, email, DM us on social media, or drop them in our social media posts. If we use your question, I will send you some articulate fly swag, and we are drawing for some really cool TNT swag, as well as a $100 Norvice gift card at the end of the season. And I know you're excited because it's getting slightly warm where you are. Kaz, you want to let folks know where they can find you so they can book you and fish with you?
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at True North Trout or on Facebook, True North Trout, and I have a YouTube channel. Feel free to reach out to me anytime if you have any questions. I've had a couple of people throw out what's your best basic starter kit kind of question. How do I get into fly fishing? And it's kind of like you said, that's a pretty large open-ended question. Where do you get started on fly fishing, right? Maybe we should do an entire episode on that.
Yeah, there you go. Well, listen, folks, you owe it to yourself. The steelhead are running. You should get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, guys.
Good talking to you, Marvin. I'll see you. Thank you.
You bet.